back with more on Real Estate Update. I think this part's going to be fun, but this is because it's from a personal note.
Okay.
I have two sisters. The three of us are selling my parents' home. Not a lot of agreement sometimes about how we should list it, this, that, and the other thing. Do you find when families are selling a home, maybe their parents lived here and moved, so now they've got the vacation home or the parents' home to sell. How do you deal with multiple family members?
This is really funny. I can't believe you put me on the spot, you know. Here's the way I do it.
Okay.
Okay. This happens a lot.
I bet it does.
And I've learned how to do it because I did it wrong for so long. The way I do it now, say it's usually 3 or 4 kids, you know, sometimes 2. And what I say, when they ask me to list the house, I say, let me explain the ground rules. So the way we're going to do this. I need a point person, one person. I'm going to talk to one person. That one person is going to communicate with their 3 brothers and sisters, and then she's going to call me back. And when I first started, I think I said, oh, I'll be glad to do it. And if I got an offer, for instance, I'd call all 4 kids.
Oh my gosh.
And then what happened is one of the kids would say, Mr. Wedgeworth said this. And the one daughter would call me and say, I didn't say that. You know?
No. Are you kind of like, oh, he said we could get more for it? Or
yeah.
I think I heard him say, because they kind of tailor it to what they think
they
should be
hear
done.
what they want to hear.
Sure, yep.
But this is really a tough thing to do because all 4 of them have different wants and
goals.
Here's what usually happened. I had one recently, it was 7. Now that's a tough
7 children?
Yeah, 7 children. And fortunately, they understood the rules, so I was dealing with the oldest daughter. But one of the 7 came to Hilton Head all the time. The others were in different parts of the country.
Right.
So the one that came actually didn't want the place to sell because they were using it.
Okay, of course, yeah.
So you got one that's using it. You got one that really needs the money. And then you got 5 that could probably use the money. So fortunately, they fought it out amongst themselves.
Thank goodness.
But can you imagine me trying to present an offer on a condo to 7 different parties?
No, but I want to ask you, was the point person the person that came to use it, or was it someone else?
No, it was somebody else.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. But a lot of times agents will come to me and say, I don't know what to do. And I say, well, the problem is you didn't set up the ground rules when you listed the property. One person, the point person, I will deal with that point person. That point person is going to deal with their brothers and sisters and the attorneys and all that. But you can really get some hurt feelings when you start working these family situations.
I bet. I mean, so that's an instance where things could get very difficult with a seller. Are there any examples of other times where it's difficult or where it's easy with a seller?
Well, you learn by experience. And when you do it wrong, you say, I'm not doing that anymore.
What about if I say to you, my house is worth X amount of dollars, and you're thinking to yourself, because I know you've told me this happens, there's no way. Do you talk them into listing for what you think will help the house move and be sold? You let them list it for that price until they see it's not. How do you handle it?
Well, there's a couple different ways to do it. Normally, what I do is I say, let's assume you were a buyer today, and here are the options. I tell you what, I'll give you a story.
Okay.
I had this lady come to me one time and she said, I'm friends, and she mentioned 3 people that were good friends of hers. All 3 of them lost their husbands, and I sold the houses for all 3 of them.
Okay.
So she called up and she says, I want you to do exactly what you did for so-and-so and so-and-so. I said, I got it. I can do that for you. And we went and looked at the house, and I said, here's what your house is worth. In about 2 days, I get a phone call from her daughter that lived up north, and she was fit to be tied. And she was going to call the real estate commission on me.
Oh, Lord.
And for taking advantage of her 88-year-old mother. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, you come to Hilton at any time. She said, I'll be there in 3 weeks. I said, let's take the house off the market for 3 weeks, and when you get here, I'll let you determine what the house is worth. So I go over and pick them up, and we go out and look at the houses on the market like she was a buyer. After the third house, she got in the car and she reached over, she grabbed my arm, she said, I owe you an apology. She said, actually, you're $10,000 too high. It needs to be priced at
There
X.
you go.
I said, thank you. Because she was the buyer for the day. You know, she
worked.
looked at what was available
Yep.
and said, here's what my house is
We are
worth.
out of time, but I'm glad. And
I hate to run out of
I love
time.
to hear the James Wedgeworth story. So thank you so much. Okay.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
And Allie, thank you what you do for the community.
Well-
I love this program and you make it a lot of fun.
Well, I always learn from you, James Wedgeworth. And we want to thank you for watching. We'll see you the next time.